Hey, black beans and collard greens. Hey everybody, my name is John and welcome to ADITW, A Day in the Word, the internet's favorite Bible study. Ow. Today is a joyous episode. Don't you feel joyous? Hallelujah. Because today, it's Christmas in September! Hallelujah. Today we are diving into Matthew chapter 2, traditionally known as the Christmas story. Now, I'm assuming if you've been around church for like 2.5 seconds, you have heard this story before. So my hope today is that you would experience it in a new way, and perhaps even learn something new from it that you haven't seen before. Let's start by reading Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. So, since many of us have heard this story before, I want to dive deep into one specific part of it. Let's talk about the Magi. The Magi, or wise men or kings, show up in just about every single church nativity scene. However, a detail that is usually left out of the children's story is that these Magi were actually working for Herod, the man who wanted to kill Jesus. Herod sent these men to Bethlehem under false pretenses, saying that he wanted to know where the child was so he could go and worship him. But when the Magi encounter the baby Jesus, something changes, something shifts in them, and they never go back and report to Herod. In a way, you could look at it as the Magi are the first people in history to be changed by the presence of Jesus. After having met him, they couldn't go back to their old way of living, but instead, they sacrifice what they have at the feet of this baby. In a way, it's kind of a perfect example for what happens to us the first time we encounter Christ. Way to go, Magi! Let's move on now to the next section. Let's read verses 13 to the end. Now, last week we talked about the incredible faithfulness of Mary and Joseph. How if they hadn't been faithful in uncertain, somewhat scary circumstances, they would have missed out on being used by God in an incredible way. And here, once again, we see incredible faithfulness from Joseph, as within the course of a few verses, he moves his family out of Egypt and then back to Nazareth, all at the Spirit's prompting. I love how in the text, there's almost like a rhythm between the angel and Joseph. The angel says, "Get up," in verse 13. Then it says, "So he got up," in verse 14. And it repeats again. Verse 20 says, "Get up." Verse 21, "So he got up." This is the rhythm of faith. God says, "Get up," so I get up. God says, "Go there," so I go there. God says, "Love them," so I love those people. The reality is, true faith rarely calls us to stay right where we are. True faith means that when God says get up and go, you get up and go. Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope this study of Matthew 2 perhaps gave you some new, exciting insights into a somewhat familiar story for most of us. If you have any other insights, please let me know by commenting down below. Also, this Friday, I am hitting you all with a brand new spoken word poem. I'm really excited about it. You should be excited too. If I were to give you all a clue, it would be, these rhymes are gonna take you to school. All right, that's all I have. I love you all. Have a great week. Keep being awesome.